Well, my roots run very deep in Monterey, and my mother was born and raised in Monterey. I was born and raised in Monterey. My children were born and raised in Monterey. And as I developed this great love for this city, and I went through the public school system in Monterey, after graduating from Monterey High School, went on to MPC and then Santa Clara University. While at Santa Clara University, one of the professors I had indicated to the class that we had a great responsibility to give back to the community from which we came, that we were privileged to be in such a great school with so many great minds surrounding us, and that we should take the information that we learn, go back to our communities, and make our communities a better place. I took that statement to heart. And so, coming back to Monterey after graduating from college, Sandy and I established ourselves here. I went to work for my father's company, and I started thinking about politics. How can I give back to the community that I grew up in, that gave me so much, that I was so privileged to live in this wonderful place we call home? So I started thinking about it, and I said to myself and talked to my wife about it, and Sandy and I decided, well, maybe politics. So I got involved with the Monterey Peninsula Chamber of Commerce and Visitors and Convention Bureau. At that time, the two entities were joined as one. And so I went through the chairs, and I became president of the Monterey Peninsula Chamber of Commerce and Visitors and Convention Bureau back in 1989 when I was at the tender age of 33. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the interaction with the community. I felt very gratified by the progress we were making to make the Monterey Peninsula a great place to live, work, and visit. So after that, I decided, well, maybe I could give back directly to the city of Monterey. And I thought, well, what position could I hold that I had some level of expertise in? So as a realtor, I felt, well, probably the Planning Commission would be a good place for me to go. And so I applied at a very young age. And first time I applied for a Planning Commission seat, I did not get it. I wasn't accepted. I applied again, and I wasn't accepted. So I thought, well, maybe I better do something else. A couple years went by, and I had then Mayor Albert asked me to apply again. I said, well, Dan, I would love to serve on the Planning Commission, but I don't think the votes are there. He said, Chuck, the time is now. The votes, he believed, were there. And so I submitted my application for the third time, and it was accepted. And that happened in 1992. I was appointed to the Planning Commission. Served for a period of 10 years, met a lot of great people who were great volunteers for the city of Monterey and had the city's best interest at heart. Was involved in the formation of the general plan, which is a 20-year build-out plan for the city of Monterey. Then became interested in running for office. I did so and was elected in 2002 to the council. Served a 4-year term as a council member, then ran for mayor in 2006 and served 4 terms as mayor. And the work that I've been involved with the city has been extremely enjoyable, for the most part because of the wonderful people who are involved as residents, as city staff, and as visitors from around the world who come to see what we have here in this idyllic environment. The historic structures that we have here, the history, the fact that the city of Monterey is the birthplace of California, the wonderful crescent-shaped bay, the tree-studded hills, the temperate climate. We have it all. The educational institutions, Monterey Bay Aquarium, which is world-renowned, and for their great research arm, Mabari. It's just a place like no other. As I often say, Monterey is a special place, and I don't say that lightly. I sincerely mean that. We have world-class military installations here in the city of Monterey, in the Naval Postgraduate School, Defense Language Institute. And people, again, our allies, our friends, come from around the world to attend these wonderful schools to help our country to secure our freedoms that we enjoy so much here And the people who frequent these wonderful institutions add a lot to the quality of our lives. You see them conversing downtown, walking, talking. You hear people speaking different languages. It's just a wonderful, wonderful thing that we have here. I really enjoyed participating in the vision of Monterey. When elected mayor, the council came together as a group of individuals who wanted to make Monterey even better. And we did that, and we came up with this idea that we should have our downtown and other business districts in the city of Monterey more vibrant. So we thought, well, what can we do to attract more people to our downtown? Let's widen our sidewalks. Let's have outdoor seating. Let's have more trees, more flowers. Let's make it a very inviting place to be, where it becomes a place not where you have to go in order to purchase something, but rather a place you want to go in order to gather with your friends and do the shopping that you would like to do and enjoy the setting that is so perfect in downtown Monterey. And this council has been fortunate to see their vision come to life. We now have outdoor seating. We now have many mixed-use structures in our downtown Lighthouse area, Cannery Row area, that bring people to our business districts. The outdoor seating is a big hit. We already have 3 in downtown Monterey. 3 are under construction now. We have wonderful new businesses that are there. We have the Alvarado Street Brewery and Grill that has opened. It has outdoor seating. We have Cafe Trieste. It has outdoor seating. We have what we call the burn site that suffered a fire damage back in 2007 that the property owners just broke ground on, that propose outdoor seating that will be in front. We have a site across from the conference center where there was a club, Club Octane, I believe the name of it was, above Chibo's, that will now be turned into residential units on the 2nd and 3rd floors. And that whole street side of Alvarado Street in front of that business will now have outdoor seating. So we've been able to realize our dream, our vision, if you will. The business community has really come together and made Monterey, it's going to put Monterey back on the map, so to speak, with the idea of renovating the conference center. The council approved the preferred alternative, a $32 million renovation of the conference center, so that we could change the facade to make it more attractive, to rearrange the interior space so it is more efficient for conferences and meetings, to provide state-of-the-art technology so that we can have conferences second to none in that facility. It is a beautiful waterfront conference center. We need to maximize the advantage that we have there. The hoteliers have come forward and agreed to finance that $32 million renovation. You just don't see that everywhere. Monterey is unique in that regard. People come together, they see what needs to be done, they put their money where their mouths are, so to speak, and in 18 months or so, we are going to have a completely renovated conference center that will be very, very attractive. It's needed because tourism is the engine of the Monterey Peninsula economy, in particular the city of Monterey's economy, and the conference center is a big part of that. So I'm very, very pleased that the business community has come forward. Just recently, the last November election, the residents of Monterey came forward and voted in favor of Measure P. Measure P is a funding mechanism for the improvement of our streets, sidewalks, and 100-year-old storm drain. With the 1% sales tax increase that Measure P was approved to do, we will raise $8 million a year for the next 4 years to fund those improvements to our streets, sidewalks, and 100-year storm drain. Fantastic. The infrastructure will be improved. A couple of years ago, we set aside $6.8 million to improve our sewer system so we could upgrade the pipes that are in poor shape, upgrade our pump stations for sewer, infrastructure improvements. It's important for city government to provide outstanding infrastructure so that the private sector can do what it needs to do on their property to develop it and be assured that the streets and sidewalks, storm drains and sewers are all working properly. It's all part of the formula for success. And we have been so fortunate that we have come together as a community to recognize this. Many communities have infrastructure that is crumbling. We saw the need, we moved forward, we voted with 74% plus in favor of that 1% sales tax to improve our infrastructure. It's great to live in the city of Monterey. Well, I think Monterey today pays a lot more attention to detail, in particular architecture. The buildings that are designed and built today are wonderful examples of outstanding architecture. They welcome the public into the space. They're interesting places. The architecture is detailed for the pedestrian. We look at parking, we look at traffic circulation. How do we make it better than it was before? I can remember many years ago thinking, wow, we really get involved as a city with looking at a particular project, a single project. Today, we are looking at the whole rather than a piece here and a piece there. We have master planned this community. We now have not just a general plan, but we now have specific plans for our downtown, for North Fremont, and we're wrapping up the specific plan on Lighthouse Avenue. The advantage to a specific plan over the general plan is that the city has set out very detailed and specific expectations for new development, so that when these developments take place, they have a common thread. There is unity in what is being done. So instead of taking it piecemeal, puzzle piece by puzzle piece, we now take and look at the whole and what is going to be great for that particular district. So it's the thinking ahead, it's the forward-looking thinking, it's for the greater good of the community, and it's for consistency and for certainty for the business person. He knows what the city expects. He can then decide whether to spend his money or not. And that has gone a long way towards engaging the business community in new developments. The City Council has made great strides over the last 8 years. Back in 2007, the council, well, I actually had the privilege and honor at the council's approval and request to sign the U.S. Mayor's Protection Act and the Kyoto Accords, which were environmental documents. And what they did was they committed the city to having a clean environment. They committed the city to reducing CO2 emissions. And so we moved forward with that, with the idea that we don't know whether or not there's going to be climate change and the rest. But why guess? Why not be ahead of the game? Why not go ahead and buy electric vehicles for the city fleet? Why not have electric motorcycles for our PD? We've done that. We've installed electric charging stations for owners of electric vehicles. We also ban the use of single-use plastic bags in order to reduce litter in our environment, in particular litter into our marine environment, because we were concerned about the marine animals ingesting paper bags and then dying as a result of that ingestion. So we have first and foremost come forward and said, this environment is special. We don't want to keep it the same. We don't want to just protect it. We want to make it even better. And we've done that through our commitment of reducing CO2 emissions and reducing litter to the best of our ability. That was a key early mark that the council was able to achieve. The council's commitment to opening up its waterfront is also a very key achievement, I believe, during the past 8 years. We are looking at redirecting traffic, possibly making Alvarado two-way so that most of our vehicular traffic can go right to the waterfront. The waterfront is our showcase in Monterey. We don't want to block it from view. We want to open it up. So traffic circulation is key. The development of unique buildings and stores that go into those buildings is also very important to keeping Monterey special. And we've done that through our specific plan, again, laying out what we feel is going to be a great overall plan once the plan has been completed. The conference center I mentioned earlier, but the conference center is absolutely huge. The improvements that will go into that conference center will hopefully pay off for the next 30 plus years. So the council was very forward thinking. They're always there to balance the budget. They're always concerned about the fiscal solvency of this community. And today we're in great financial shape. We have our infrastructure improvements funded. We have an economic uncertainty reserve, highest it's ever been, at 14% of our budget. We are just really in good financial shape. We have plans in place, and we have improvements going forward as a result of those plans. Tourism being the economic engine of the city of Monterey is something that many informed residents realize is very important. The revenue that is derived from tourism makes up about 26% of our general fund budget, just the transient occupancy tax. But if you added the additional sales tax, the additional property tax that are generated as a result of the tourist dollars, you're maybe headed closer to 50% of the City of Monterey's general fund budget is provided by that tourist dollar. Those members of our community who have been engaged in our neighborhood improvement program, which is a unique program around the world, they understand the value of that visitor dollar. They understand that that visitor dollar helps pay for police, fire, library, parks maintenance, wharf maintenance, and other benefits that are derived by the residents here. I often say, you know, we're going to put this money into this community, and the visitors are going to be able to enjoy it for a couple days while they spend their time with us. We're going to be able to enjoy those improvements year-round because we live here. It's the tourist dollar is important to us. Tourism is a clean industry, and the hospitality industry has been a part of Monterey for many years, and hopefully will continue to be so for decades to come. The challenges going forward will be, how do we continue as residents of this wonderful city we live in to increase our quality of life while attracting more people to our community? How do we manage our visitors? And I think we can do that with better traffic circulation plans, with better transportation, mass transit. We do have a trolley that operates free of charge to our visitors and residents during the peak tourist season. Perhaps in the future that will be a year-round benefit. In order to reduce traffic, when folks come into our community, they park at their hotel or motel, and they're able to take a trolley down to Cannery Row, up to Del Monte Shopping Center, and do what most visitors like to do, and be transported by a trolley, which is fun and free. I have been honored and privileged by the people of Monterey to have served them for the last 12 years on the City Council, the last 8 years as their mayor. It is a position in which I have served that I would not trade. I have met folks that I would not otherwise have met and engaged with and become friends with and become educated by, that I would not have been able to had I not been mayor of Monterey. I have traveled quite a bit while I was mayor. It is a very fulfilling job. I must say it is time consuming, but I'll tell you, it is extremely rewarding. It is extremely gratifying to be able to help someone accomplish their dreams. And for that, I am immensely grateful to the voters of Monterey for giving me that opportunity to share in their success. What I would say to that young high school or college student about public service is, it's worth it. It will improve your life. It will give you a different perspective on life. It will help you to grow as an individual, and it will be satisfying. Once you have accomplished your goals, it's time to help others accomplish theirs. And given that opportunity, I think you should take it. It's well worth the time.